Hello again, everyone. This is Gilmer, your friendly neighborhood Gilmer, and I am welcoming you back to War in the East. And we're doing a Let's Play of War in the East. It is episode 89 of War in the East. It's getting on up there. The number of episodes are really starting to accumulate. And we are playing as the Soviets, and we're playing the Grand Campaign. And it is September 3rd, 1942. And typically, the Germans were still, I believe, very much on the attack, which they are in this game as well. So I am in a situation where I have a very broken up line of defense from about south center, right about here, all the way to the almost the south. The deep south is okay, but right here, this little part is not good at all. And what I've decided to do is not ignore the realities of this situation. I have got to contain this in any way I can, and that means bringing my lines back and trying to collapse down on the Germans that are in my backward areas, their forward areas, I would guess that would be, and making sure that these breakouts don't go any further and get us to Christmas or the winter of 42, and then we can start rebuilding again or re-establishing what we need to do to get to Berlin or wherever we're going to get to. So what that means is, and I'm going to use a little telestrator, if that's what they call it, and I'm going to pretty much bring all of this back and run a line from basically here to here, which will shorten my lines, and that way I'll have a lot more troops or a lot more units to actually move up to this area. And also I'm going to pull back these troops, and try to do kind of a line, or try to set up kind of a line through here as best as possible. Let's keep on moving forward or moving backwards or whatever you want to say. And then all of these units I'm going to try to collapse back onto the Germans as much as possible and set up a line basically here as well as possible, because I've gotten to the point where I'm ignoring the strategic situation, and I keep saying to myself, oh well, when the weather gets bad, the Germans will be in deep trouble. And that's not necessarily the case. I don't know that for a fact. I'm assuming that, and I don't want to assume something that might not happen. So that means I'm pretty much going to give up Kiev, which Kiev was taken before anyway, so, and plus I think I moved everything out of it, so I'm not too worried about losing Kiev. East Kiev, same thing. And what I'm just going to try to do is just consolidate my lines and make sure that, these units here don't have, these German units here don't have this free area right in front of them to just keep on marching wherever they want to go. I don't want to do that. I don't want to allow them to do that. So if I bring these units back and kind of build a line across from here, then that will probably free up a lot of units so that I can kind of wrap around this breakthrough and make sure it doesn't go too much further. And that's my overall plan, to be honest with you. And I just want to make sure that they just don't keep pushing forward, because every single time that I move units over in front of them, I'm kind of doing it as a checkerboard defense in a way, you know, putting a unit here and then skipping the hex and putting a unit here and just trying to slow them down, and they just go right through those units. And once they go through one, then that means they have a 3 hex wide area to just go through very easily and not have any trouble, and it's just not working very well for me at this point. So I don't know how well this is going to work. I just know that I really probably should be doing it. So what I'm going to do is this unit, I'm going to move here. I'm going to move these guys back. I'm going to move these guys. We're going to move definitely move the headquarters back. And this is what I would call pretty dramatic, to be honest. And I've kind of been forced into thinking this way, and then I have to kind of give credit to, or not kind of, I have to give credit to one of my viewers who actually said, you know, you really need to get that situation cleaned up, because it might not get better during your winter turns. You might be having just as much trouble as they're having in the winter. So I don't want that I definitely do not want that to happen. So what I'm going to try to do is just make sure that we're not allowing them, you know, free roam or whatever you want to call it. And so, as you can see, I have moved my units back. Getting them across this river is going to cost a little bit of movement points. I have a unit here. I'm going to put him, hopefully, because they're across the river, they won't have too much trouble. And just start moving some of these units to, and gotta make sure that my headquarters are not in areas that are easily attackable. So as you can see, I've kind of got a makeshift line going straight across here, and that's what I'm hoping for. Damn, gotta make sure these headquarters are not on the front lines. We'll move him, we'll move one of these up to here, and hopefully that'll give me a chance to kind of move a lot of these units over, and then kind of from this side wrap around on the front here and make sure that these guys aren't given free reign to go wherever the hell they want to go. Because up until now, that's what I've kind of been doing. I kept kind of thinking, oh well, you know, and I've already mentioned it, when the bad weather hits, they're going to be in a world of hurt, and we'll mop them up. And it hasn't been happening. It has not been happening, and I don't have any movement points for them, so they're pretty much stuck where they are. Excuse me, my stomach just growled. And so I reckon why they can't move there, these guys can't move either. Or maybe they can move and I'm just not. These guys are not going to be able to move at all because of zone of... Well, actually, they can move there. Let's just get these guys back a little. Trying to figure out the best way to get... As you can see, my units are in really poor shape and actually moving back, and I'm going to have to abandon these fortified areas, which is kind of sad, but not sure why. This is one of those situations where you move slower at first, but eventually you can get, your units back. I have a fortified unit there, or fortified region, and it hurts. It hurts to have to abandon it, but I have to do pretty much what I've been saying, just because we're really not in a situation anymore where we have a choice. Honestly, it's to the point where if I don't move a lot of these units back, they're actually, I wish I hadn't done that, because these guys are kind of out on a limb now, and I don't really like that. And as you can see, guys like, units like this are they're just in a wasteland at this point. So that's what's going on. I mean, and I know I haven't been on for about a week, and sometimes you just got to take a break from everything, and I was really taking a break from most games that I have been playing. I'm just a little bored, to be honest. So other than that, I mean, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. See, these units are in very much danger, if you ask me. So I want to get them out of danger. I want to make sure that everybody's in a good spot. As you can see, as I move these units back, the density of my units are starting to really be stacked up. So when I have a chance, I'll try to swing a big portion of these units around and kind of contain what's going on. Actually, I can do some of it already. Yeah, they're interdicting me a shitload, to be quite honest with you. See, I'm getting these units almost pretty much to the point where still got a lot of units over here that I probably need to move back some. Got a crap ton of units that I really don't need to be leaving hanging out here, to be honest with you. Man, I'm hungry. This unit's cut off, but I really, at this point, I'm not as worried about it as I am about saving my units, because I really do believe my units are in a lot of trouble. It's part of the reason why I haven't played in a while, is that I was a little discouraged. I really didn't do I didn't talk about it too much because, what's the point? Sitting there whining, oh, I'm losing, oh, yeah, whatever. And I don't really feel like I'm losing, but I do feel like that the situation is starting to spin out of control. And as it spins out of control, I'm getting a little more and more discouraged. I just made a couple of their headquarters retreat. So, I mean, I still got a lot of things I can do, such as attack this guy. And see, I am getting some of these guys still. And I do believe that the more I backtrack with these units, the better the chances are of me actually getting these units, some of these units that are, because then it kind of congests this area. It kind of congests this area right behind these guys, and then then maybe it'll give me a better chance to actually route some of these that are really far forward. And that is what I'm really hoping for, is to route a whole bunch of these units, or even make them surrender, and at the same time save my units. And I'm not discouraged to the point where I think I've lost the war, but I am discouraged to the point of I'm in trouble. And if I don't get a handle on this by the time it comes for me to actually start attacking, it's not going to be there for me to do, because I will have lost so many units that it's just not practical anymore to actually try to slow them down. As you can see, I'm moving some of these units that are back behind, kind of behind the line of scrimmage. I'm thinking of football. Sorry about that, but back behind the front lines, and that's partly because they don't have any zone of control issues, and I can just move them pretty quickly. And yes, I know that my headquarters are all utterly screwed up. I'm even thinking about, I was told that I probably should move back across this river, and I'm wondering, should I do that? Because it took a shitload of time to get across the river in the first place, and I don't necessarily know that I want to be on the east side of this river, the Volga, or whatever it's called. I can't even tell. If I move these units, I could tell. The Volkhov River. Let's move them back. So I almost think that it'll be such a pain in the ass to try to get them back across this river that I'm almost willing to at least have issues with being routed and stuff like that for the present. It's just my belief that the less I give up here, the less I'll have to refight those areas. Look at this, a headquarters guy right out in the middle of nowhere. He did have a unit with him, stacked with him, but so as you can see, I've kind of already gotten to the point where I'm kind of building. Look at all these units. I'm so screwed on my command range. It's going to take a major undertaking to make sure that everybody's where they should be, or you know, not out of range of their units. And it's an air. 56th. And let's see. I'm almost wondering if I should move these guys back just a slight bit as well. And I could have them. I could have this guy across that river. I could have him there. I could have him there. I like that a little better. I don't know why. I just do. So, headquarters. That's an air command, so who gives a shit? I guess I do, but... So this is the 57th and the 19th. And what do we have here? 2nd Airborne Corps. Or no, 2nd Guards Army. Oh, there we go. 2 2nd Guards Armies. Let's put them with the 46th. You're really not supposed to have a Guards Army in a Guards Division in a Guards Army, I think, because it doesn't... I don't think it... I think I read that the bonus you get, it kind of cancels each other out. Somebody's texting the hell out of me right now, and I don't know who it is, but I'm not near my phone, so it's annoying to me to keep hearing the buzz. So as you can see, I'm kind of to the point where actually let's move him across the river. We'll move him down. I wish I could get some... See, there across the river. But still, they don't... They're across the river, and they might be able to push these units out of the way, but these guys are not. Now... This guy can just move across the river probably fairly easy. It'd probably take up a pretty good amount of his movement points, but I really don't want to put anybody there because they'll just get murdered. I'm not going to do that. Not at this point. And maybe I should go all the way back to here. Maybe that's what it's telling me. But you know, the bad weather is going to come at some point. And even if it slows us both down, I'll at least be in a situation where they can't move forward. And I can't really move backward, but you know, I'm more worried about if my... Jesus, who the hell is texting me? I hope it's not anything bad, to be honest, because if it is, then I'll feel like a total dickhead. Sorry for my language for ignoring it. And obviously I don't want anybody to be, any kind of emergency actually going on. So let's just keep moving these guys back. I got about 5 minutes left on this episode anyway, so I'll be able to figure out who or what is texting me so much. And actually, this river would be sheesh. That's a brigade. These are both brigades. So why don't I do this? '34th, 20th, and 20th. Well, let's put him at the 20th. And I don't even see the 20th. Holy shit. Where is the 20th? Alright. Let's put them in the 32nd. 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 And boom. And we'll move him on top of that. It's really not. Yeah, I got 159 tanks. And this way we'll be able to shorten our line some, and also be able to do something about that. This area is deeply in trouble, to be honest. And you can also say, well, their guys are in trouble as well, which is true. I mean, but the computer doesn't make these kinds of mistakes as much as me overlooking things. And when I overlook things, bad shit starts to happen, and it very easily could start happening pretty soon. So we're gonna move these guys back and try to consolidate our back areas a little bit, and make sure that everybody has access to a clear line of supply. So there it is. It's almost 30 minutes of me discussing how I've made a complete mess of my lines. He's on a train. Let's keep him moving on a train. And let's move him right there. And then we can just detrain him. Okay. Let's move him up there. See, I still have areas where they have free reign, to be honest. I have done a lot to, get my units in front of these guys, or, blocking these guys. As you can see, I've got a long, straight, almost uninterrupted line coming through here, except for this hex. They're not a lot of strong units, but I'm finally getting to the point where I can get them in it. And when the bad weather really hits, these guys will will probably grind to a halt. They'll still probably be able to attack me though, but what are you going to do? So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.